G'day everyone. This is my first video in the series that I'm about to start making, and we find ourselves in a beautiful park which is right next door to where I live. So this is Acadia Park in Newcastle, Australia, and I've chosen here because hopefully it provides a really nice backdrop to some of the material that I want to talk about, which is maybe a little bit dry sometimes, but it's meant to be very helpful and hopefully provide you with a structured way of, I guess, understanding yourself and how society works and maybe, yeah, like your place in society. So that all sounds pretty weird and I don't know, like presumptuous or whatever, but anyway, I'm going to be explaining the ideas that I've been working on for the last, well, since I was a teenager, so probably nearly 30 years. Anyway, so I'll just start by saying that modern society is, I guess, an invention, an experiment that really makes no sense, and we aren't designed to live in a modern society. So what are we designed to live in? Well, you've heard this before probably, but we're designed to live in hunter-gatherer societies. And what difference does that make? Well, it makes a huge difference because in hunter-gatherer societies, people have a tribe they belong to. Everyone knows what's going on. You know, they have a common set of beliefs and knowledge. Everyone knows each other very well. And there is strong penalties for those who do the wrong thing. Whereas in the modern world, most people we come across we don't know very well, or we know them for a short period of time. Even in a workplace situation, we don't know people terribly well. You know, we keep it professional rather than exploring, you know, each other's personal lives and you know, deeper belief systems. We often don't have shared knowledge, so people don't really, you know, have common myths or common understandings of how the world works. You know, that's why people, for example, join a church and or, you know, a Rotary group or charity and spend their time there, or they might go online and try and find people who have a similar mindset to themselves. They're trying to find the tribes, their own tribes, because that makes them feel more comfortable. So modern society is not designed for our comfort, our psychological comfort. It's designed to, well, it's just arisen. It's not deliberately designed at all. So it's, you know, like there's been numerous civilizations rise and fall. Our current one is successful, or has the success it currently has, largely because of the two great inventions of democracy and also science. So democracy is an incredible innovation where it gives each member an official vote on who the leaders should be, whereas in hunter-gatherer days everyone had an implied power. People didn't vote for the leader. It was just, you know, agreed. People went, okay, yeah, well, this guy obviously is the best guy and he'll be our leader, and up until the time when he does the wrong thing, then we'll chastise him, or we'll, you know, make it known that he's no longer the leader, perhaps even ostracize him or kill him or her. So there's an official vote. So in that way, democracy replicates or formalizes the unofficial processes that hunter-gatherer societies instilled or utilized. And the second factor being science allows us to create machines and technologies which allow people basically to live together at higher densities. In Roman societies, for example, the poor would often die from straight out tiredness because they were not able to go to sleep because of all the noise and the cramming together. Now, I mean, in modern societies we still have a problem of homelessness, and that's not great, but in general, science does allow us to survive together in high numbers at a relatively high level of luxury and, you know, contentment, at least certainly in the first world, but even in third world countries, you know, relative to you know, feudalism and stuff like that, times past where people really were up against it with diseases and with famines, shortages. We relied upon animal power, muscle power, rather than being able to use, as we do now, primarily fossil fuels to really supercharge our activities, provide leverage in our actions, and generally make our society incredibly productive. So we're living in this strange combination of paradise on one hand in terms of the availability of science and fossil fuels and, you know, democratic structures and institutions for policing and whatnot. But on the other hand, it's also a hell because we don't have all the social signals and structures that a tribe would have that would allow us to, you know, understand our place and to understand how to deal with other people and feel comfortable. People today feel lonely and they feel unsure of what's going on. You know, they seek answers that they can understand, that whether they're accurate or not. You know, climate change denial is an example, and there's many others. You know, nationalism, stuff like that. I mean, whether nationalism is just simply the nation replacing the tribe, or people wanting the nation to replace the tribe. It's not the tribe. A nation is something very different, but it provides a psychological framework. So this is like an overarching statement of where we are at, and I struggle to get much sense out of philosophers, economists, sociologists, psychologists. The whole lot of them seem to be missing the full picture, and seem to themselves want to ascribe to one simple solution or another, left, right, etc. And at the same time, the average person who has to live in these structures that we've invented, you know, they're really struggling because they don't understand why they feel uncomfortable and why they feel, you know, that they don't really understand what they're here for and what life is meant to be about. And yeah, so some years ago I worked out that the politicians, when I was late teens, that the politicians of the world really had no idea what was going on, and they were just selling their voters whatever lie would be easiest to believe and get them the votes. And I therefore decided to start working out what was going on, because, you know, why not, right? Someone's got to do it. And obviously people have been trying, but you know, I thought that I'd have a go because, well, I was always a bit of an outsider. You know, still am in many ways, but I could see society from an outsider's perspective in terms of I didn't belong And so I was almost like an alien, and I had a lot of what I saw as clarity, because I didn't have any allegiance to any tribe or any belief system, or I had no way of seeing the world that made any sense. I had no preconceptions. I was like an adult human just newly dropped into the world, and started working out from first principles what was going on. So I'll sort of finish up there, but if I just can say that I have been spending a long time following the scientific method, empiricism, and generally collating information that comes through me to me through media sources I trust. For example, Australia's very own Australian Broadcasting Corporation, which has many fine journalists and that report upon reality. So I've tried to generate, and within my research, try to generate an understanding about who we are as individuals, and who we are and how we actually work in this modern society. And I'm not sure if I'm completely lost you already, but I will say that over the next sequence of videos, I will take you through what my research has achieved and where I think it sheds light on both societal structures and also individual, ways of approaching those structures that build upon the repertoire that we gain from our hunter-gatherer times. And I will also, in later videos, be looking at various social institutions such as health systems, media systems, all kinds of different problems in society, and providing using my findings and my research to basically propose solutions to those problems. And I can guarantee you those solutions you will not have heard anywhere else, but yet I will challenge you to find a problem, because I have not been able to find a problem with them. So I'm going to call this series, well, I call my research, when put into an ideology, Collabism, and I will call this video series A Journey into Reality. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, thanks for listening, and I hope that you'll hear me on the next video. Thank you.